escape another stream, is it?
Yo, Flows, what's up? It's good to see you. Thank you all for coming. I hope this one's working. It just started doing a new stream for some odd reason. I just ended it. But it's good to see you guys. We got Michael Kahn and PJ Cruikshank in the house. How you guys doing?
Yo.
Oh, good. Like 15th time looking, maybe. It happened, didn't it? Where you start the show and then it'll just cut out straight away and say you've been on for a minute or so.
Yeah,
Crazy.
It's really weird. But it's good to see you guys here. I just got to go delete the old one quickly so people would stop going there. Content. So, how was you guys' day?
Oh, good. Oh, good. It was
Cold.
Yeah, it was cold. It was a bit rubbish to do anything out. So, I mean, I had to go and get some food from the shop and that as far as I went. But, yeah. Just one of them.
Listen, boss, it's too damn hot. We were all sitting outside now because the power's off. It's too hot inside. We're all sitting outside looking at the moon. Sitting there with our chairs, but the mosquitoes were chowing us. That's the only thing. But yeah, it's very hot. What can we say?
Oh, I was about to tell people to hit the likes and I hadn't done it myself.
Yeah, guys, please hit the likes. Hit this. Share the show. It really, really does help to get the show out to a wide audience. Really do appreciate everyone here. Okay, so I wanted to do a bit of discussion tonight between flat Earth and globe Earth. What is more evidence? And then I saw you sent me that link, PJ, Michael, with FTFE versus the guy from TikTok.
Oh yeah.
I haven't watched anything of it yet. Is it anything worth it to go through?
I don't know. Nathan covered it a bit today, like Craig's usual nonsense, denying science proves and.
Wasn't he doing a debate on Jeranism? Gerans the other night with someone.
That's right. We're on about.
Is that what it is? Okay. It just when you said when it was said TikTok, I didn't realize it was through Geran. Right. Okay. Yeah, I did see it. It passed by when I was on there when I was flicking. I seen it was on there. I didn't go in and watch it. But yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't give a stream deck up. Captions. Okay. Never mind. I'm not gonna be able to sort that out now. Hey, Fiber Oats. Yeah. It's probably just picking up a bit too much because I'm sitting a bit far from the mic, so this thing's almost like on maximum, so it picks up. So probably you can hear the computer in the background. But yeah, I'm just saying hi to everybody in the chat quickly. Good to see you, PJ Cruikshank, One Mind One Spirit, Michael Kahn, Rachel, hello, Jeff Conkle, good to see you, Moxie, thank you for coming, Charlie Wells, Jeremy Bird, what's up, Larry Silverstein's insurance policy, good to see you too, Fiber Oats, Into the Break, and Howard Moore. Always good to see you guys here. Okay, so yeah, I think we can go through that video a bit, if you guys are wanting to.
Yeah,
it's this one. Craig FTFE versus Kaleb. I've seen a bit of Caleb's videos on TikTok. Stuff because like Simon Dan and them like showing his TikTok stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really sure how much he understands of the flat Earth kind of thing, or what kind he's pushing. Is he pushing maybe the globe busters kind of thing? I don't know.
I mean, I think I have seen him on banjos. Like banjos compilations. He does a lot from TikTok. So I think I've seen definitely his face familiar. I think from what I've heard of him on the little clips I have seen, he seems okay. But that's only the little I have heard. I don't know fully what he believes.
Yeah. Okay, so we got Don Logan in and Iron FE2 and Jeff Gassett. What's up, guys? Okay, so let's go in and see what's going on.
Going to be a great one. I'm looking forward to it. Let's bring them.
I just can't stand Jeranism, to be fair, guys. So it's
on, and I'll try to get Craig's name correct the rest of the show. I promise. Guys, how's it going? Are you guys ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful, beautiful. Just real quick, tell people who you are, where they can find you, and then we'll get right into it. Go ahead.
This is not Jimmy Neutron. You don't look anything like Jimmy Neutron, Craig.
Looks like his head's moulded to the shape of a dunce cap.
Jeff Congle says he's debated with Witter before. I didn't know that. Interesting.
Kaleb, you start, so.
My name's Kaleb. You can find me on TikTok on 5 different accounts because of how censored I am. Kaleb.fe is my main one. I also have Telegram. I'm also on X. But I'd recommend everyone find me on TikTok at Kaleb.fe.
Wait, I'm confused.
Awesome, and Craig.
Hey, I'm Craig. You can find me on the YouTube channel FTFE. You can also find me on the platform formerly known as Twitter, on Facebook, and all the good socials.
Stream has disappeared.
I regularly debate flat earthers and do videos talking about science and physics.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, fantastic. And if you guys are used to the show, it has a structure
you know
that we're...
This is from FTF yourself. I don't want to watch. Let's go to Geronisms. I think that might be a bit better.
Oh, is that through FTFE's channel?
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder why it looks like it is. What the hell's going on here? I think this was it. Okay, there we go. That might be a bit better.
Special time. Fight the fat. Fight the flat earth.
Fight the fat. I already started off that. Fight the fat. Okay.
Versus Kaleb. I almost slipped on that one.
Oh, no, she did.
It's going to be a great one. I'm looking forward to it. Let's bring them on. And I'll try to get Craig's name correct the rest of the show, I
good to
promise.
see you, man.
Guys, how's it going? Are you guys ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful, beautiful. Just real quick, tell people who you are, where they can find you, and then we'll get right into it. Go ahead. Kaleb, you start, so.
My name's Kaleb. You can find me on TikTok on 5 different accounts because of how censored I am. Kaleb.fe is my main one. I also have Telegram. I'm also on X. But I'd recommend everyone find me on TikTok at Kaleb.fe.
Awesome, and Craig.
Hey, I'm Craig. You can find me on the YouTube channel FTFE. You can also find me on the platform formerly known as Twitter, on Facebook, and all the good socials. I regularly debate flat earthers and do videos talking about science and physics.
Great.
Wait, what? Science and physics, what?
Like the refracted hand because he hasn't provided any evidence for it.
How many? Hey, Brian Stavely, good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming.
See you, Brian.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that refracted hand that he keeps claiming that he has done.
Yeah.
It's weird how it's taking so long to come out if he's done it. Science and physics. I don't think Guy would know science if it hits him in the face. I mean, remember he told us time is an independent variable for T.
Well, yeah, but a lot of people tell me that.
It looks like it has hit him in the face.
Oh, yeah. Guys, the only reason we're watching this tonight is because of this Kaleb guy. Because I can't stand Jaren. So, yeah. Hey, Paul. Good to see you, man. Thank you for coming. That's Kaleb's TikTok. Really appreciate it, man. What Casey Industry? Oh, he's got a... I'm going to subscribe now. What's up? Okay. Maybe we can get him on the show sometime. Who knows?
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen him on Banjo's stuff, compilations, definitely.
It's good to see you guys all here. Please hit the like, share the show, guys. Let everybody know about the show. It really, really does help. You guys rock.
Hey, fantastic. And if you guys are used to the show, it has a structure that we're not going by tonight. We're just going to see if we can have a conversation without any need for a clock or anything. So we'll see how it goes. And then if we need to change it, we will. If you guys have questions that you want to have asked, if you send in a super chat on Rockfin or YouTube, we'll get to those by the end. So I believe they've already decided, Kaleb, you're going first, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's all yours when you want, and you're going to be sharing your screen?
Yeah, give me 1 second here.
One criticism for this, Jaren, if you are watching this, please stop letting that Jerism thing pop up every 2 minutes. Really irritating. If you guys realize that every 10 seconds, this Jerenism thing just pops up there.
Yeah, he likes to advertise himself. Brian, a Burke just means you're a bit of a numpty.
Oh, that's quite cool, Brian. So, Kaleb also knows about the Mandela effect. That's a good thing. That's quite cool.
Excellent, excellent.
Oh, I just that up.
No, I don't like Jaren Howard
Just move some shit.
at all.
And if people are interested in debating on this show, you can go to t.me/debatism on Telegram. There's a group there, people throwing their names in the hat and saying what they want to debate, or you can email us
Yeah,
at
guys, please do
debatism at
subscribe to Brian Staveley's channel. Really, really well worth it.
Outlook
Absolutely.
and get you scheduled, or you can just go to jeranism.com/debatism if you have issues or questions about the format. Okay, Caleb, it's all yours. Go ahead.
Bet. Tonight we are going to be debating, is the Earth a level topographical plane, or is the Earth an oblate spheroid, ellipsoid, pear, as Neil deGrasse Tyson says? We're going to hopefully figure that out by the end of this debate. There we go. So what do our senses tell us? The default position is to assume that the Earth is flat because we feel no motion, simply because that's all we observe. We see a horizontal horizon no matter what altitude that we climb to. We feel no motion to the Earth, yet they claim we're moving over 1.2 million miles an hour through a vacuum. That cannot be substantiated due to the laws of thermodynamics and entropy. So this is the horizon. It's horizontal. It is an apparent location, not a geometric location.
I like this guy so far.
So far, yeah, man.
I got no gripe about what he's saying.
Like
Only
you say,
thing is, if I had to be hyper critical, I would have said with the horizon rises relative to eye level. But yeah, at least he didn't use those words, rises to eye level, so that's a good thing. Just says no matter what altitude you are. So that's good.
Yeah.
Necessitated by the radius and circumference claimed by the globe side. So this is what you see. We will see the ground.
Don, what's going on with Ron? I don't know. His video's still up. He's live, so I don't know. Maybe it's okay for people to be homophobes and call people's children faggots and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, Don Vicky reported him as well. He's been reported and that. We'll just have to wait and see, isn't it? He didn't do a show today anyway, but we'll see.
All I know is like they were saying, he on Nathan's show was just banning everybody that said unsubscribe from him. So he's on the rampage, guys.
Ramp up. All this water is flat here on the right, and the sky is ramping down. But because of an artifact of perspective, because our eyes are curved lenses, it ramps up and ramps down, creating an apparent location where the sky meets the ground. Again, here's another picture demonstrating this. As these telephone poles get further away from us, they get lower in perspective due to the laws of perspective. A lot of globe earthers will necessitate that this is evidence that the Earth is a globe because things disappear from bottom up or appear from the top to bottom when they're coming towards you. But this is just an artifact of perspective, suggesting that the Earth is flat and we are just curving hyperbolic space with our curved lenses that we call eyes. This is just...
Okay, that I would also maybe, like I said, with a critical analysis, tell him, don't make a claim about why it's happening with your curved eyes. Just say because of perspective, you know what I mean? Because just now you're going to make a claim that they can catch on that they want to make a straw man out of. So rather not make too many definite claims of that. But that's good to see he's also using the black swan. So he's obviously paying attention. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's the death blow to the heliocentric model right here. This is an old picture that has been shown by plenty and plenty of people. This is a one.
Look at Jaren's face like, oh, this again. Just because he doesn't get the argument.
Yeah. It's 3-year-old and it's holding up. It's always going to hold on.
Foot observer height, seeing a platform, an oil rig at over 9.41 miles away, necessitating that the Earth's radius be much more, by a factor of over like 15, much more than 3,959 that they claim that the Earth's radius is.
Okay, there he was also... He wasn't very concise, yeah.
Proper argument.
Yeah, he wasn't really concise there. So he knows about the argument, but I don't think he really is bringing it out concise, because he was talking about the oil rigs now, which is not the argument. He was just supposed to say that oil rigs are not the thing in contention. The oil rigs is only there for reference to know the distances. The argument is about the horizon. The horizon is the argument, and the horizon being much further than the geometry allows us shows it cannot be a globe with a radius of 3959 miles an hour.
How more? The black swan is a fallacy. you think that. You would think that. It's the only thing you can't avoid.
Yeah. Hey, Debatable D, what's up, man?
Let's hear from McToon himself about the horizon, and I'm going to be really interested to see what FTFE has to say about the horizon, whether it's physical, whether it's geometrical, because for us to claim that boats going over the horizon proves the Earth is a ball and it's not an artifact of a type of mirage or perspective, angular resolution, things like that, I would like to see. But let's hear what McToon has to say. I think he sets a very good example for this debate.
Nice
I
one.
don't think you shared with.
Hey, Norman Cross, good to see you, mate. And yeah, guys, do subscribe to Michael Khan's channel as well. Definitely well worth it. Raichi doesn't get it. As soon as you say refraction, you're making our point that it's not a physical horizon, therefore not an Earth curved globe, which lets blocks, blokes, and buildings. Doesn't get it. Not hard to understand. So optical then, not physical. No globe. Welcome to Flat Earth.
With sound, sir.
I don't know how many times I have to explain this to people.
No way. Whatever. We'll skip it. It's all good. Either way, he admits that the horizon is an apparent location that fluctuates based on atmospheric conditions and temperature differentials, which is reality. So you cannot say that any observation of the horizon necessitates that the Earth is curving or that the quadrillions of gallons of water are convexing around the Earth's surface. That's a begging the question fallacy. Anyway, long distance laser.
I think he's listening to FED, guys. Sounds like it. That's a good thing. Hey, Tony Whitcomb, what's up, man?
And I bet it's killing Jaren.
Yeah, he's got a face on him like a smack backside.
Why are you not using my arguments? Jeff Conkle been a member for 5 months. Really supports. I support truth despite you not seeing ether.
What's BS flat? How Moore said BS flats. What's BS?
What you talking about?
BS flats. I don't know what he's on about.
Me neither.
Oh, well.
Experiments conducted by FE Core suggest that the Earth is flat. Plane surveying is a form of surveying which assumes that the Earth to be flat for up to 10 square miles. Sorry, not 100. Oh, wait, it might be 100 square miles.
No, they don't assume the Earth to be flat with the planar surveying. They just have to have it with surveying because you need a reference datum of horizontal to make your measurements. Geodetic surveying comes in afterwards if they have consideration for ellipsoidal model based on a belief of a globe, which comes after planar surveying measurements, which only measure inclines and slope angles, no curve. Surveyors do not measure curve, people. I would play Bev's video, but he seems to copyright strike people for playing things where surveyor says, yeah, it's flat, no curve.
Either way, I might be wrong on that. Marconi's successful propagation of a radio transmission over 2,000 miles across the ocean suggests that the Earth is flat. It was horizontally propagated, and globers, all they have to say is, oh, the ionosphere, oh, it went up there and it bounced back down to the Earth. You just have to believe us. We have no empirical evidence to suggest this, but there's an ionized plasma part of the atmosphere which...
That also, he shouldn't be making the arguments for them. Because he's actually giving them the straws to be able to say, yeah, ionosphere. And then if he says, but then he's going to say, but you brought it up, you understand? Yeah. Knowing Craig, he's definitely going to try and capitalize on every little thing given to him that he can. So this shows you he's not... It shows he's still kind of new to the debate scene. But I don't think he's doing too bad. So far, with his opening. I mean, I'm just interested to see what FTFE is going to present. If there's going to be anything worth of value than what he usually presents.
I bet it's just exactly the same as what he usually presents.
Yeah.
Which radio waves reflect back down to the Earth. Anyway, there's no evidence for that. All long-distance observations made past the claimed radius and circumference of the globular Earth all suggest that the Earth is flat. So, either way, let's keep going. So, I have 3 topics that I'd like to talk to Craig about today. I'd like to talk about the horizon and whether we can substantiate that the Earth is curved from looking at the horizon. I'd also like to talk about whether the Earth is in motion, up to him if we go down this route. But as we can see here, Michelson-Morley experiment, they expected a fringe shift to pick up the 30 kilometers per second assumed rotation or orbit around the sun. This conclusion, well, this is what he said after the experiment was done. This conclusion...
Big ups for Jaren actually on this show. Because usually the structure is really sucky. They get 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, you know, that kind of thing. And they don't get anywhere. So I'm actually happy he's decided to let them give proper presentations. So they can actually get the arguments out. So happy he's decided that. Because I can't stand those chats where the debates where has the guys saying 1 minute of this, then they argue 1 minute, then they put a 1 minute. Then you don't get anywhere. You don't have any points addressed because it's just jumping from topic to topic the whole time.
Directly contradicts the explanation, which presupposes that the Earth moves. Every experiment in the history of mankind has substantiated this exact same statement, showing that the Earth is not in motion at all, not even 1 mile per hour. Here is a couple quotes from Einstein himself from the theory of relativity. For the question of whether or not the motion of Earth can be made perceptible in terrestrial experiments, we have already remarked in section 5 that all attempts of this nature led to a negative result.
No, Jeff, Craig is paying attention. He's just probably sitting in the background talking to Craig and, you know, the panel of cats and them trying to help him out to figure out what they're going to do about the argument presented, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Consensus. It's how they like to work with, isn't it? Consensus.
Before the theory of relativity was put forward, it was difficult to become reconciled to this negative result. And then he also said, while I was thinking of this problem in my student years, I came to know the strange result of the Michelson experiment. Soon, I came to the conclusion that our idea about the motion of the Earth with respect to the ether is incorrect. If we admit Michelson's null result as a fact, this was the first path that led me to the special theory of relativity. Since then, I have come to believe that no motion of the Earth can be made. No motion of the Earth cannot be detected.
I got a feeling he does push the ether though.
Right.
Hey, Lev, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Look, the thing is, I find it very hypocritical from the ether pushers, though, that they want to claim there's no empirical evidence for the globe things, but then they want to claim ether. That's a bit of double standards to me. I mean, okay, when I first got into Flat Earth, also I was for the ether everything, as you can see in my first videos. But the more you dive into it, the more you just find there's just nothing that substantiates ether at all. Nobody can even define what it is. You said you're as good as a glober when you want to push the ether. You might as well be a glober because you're giving exactly the same things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So hopefully he figures that out sometime.
By any optical experiment, and then he assumes that we rotate around the sun, even though he just admitted that we can't make it perceptible in any optical experiment. Also, we cannot use the Foucault's pendulum to suggest that the Earth is rotating on its axis, because we have relational mechanics here by Andre K.T. Assist, where he goes through all the physics, all the math to show that you cannot use it. The flattened figure of the Earth, or Foucault's pendulum, can no longer be utilized as proof of the Earth's real rotation. There's also something called the Machian principle, which I'm sure we'll go into, which Ernst Mach came up with, which assumed that if...
I think you're going to be catching this with FTFE, dude. He loves the Foucault's pendulum, and what you just saw on his channel, he had the Foucault's pendulum thing up for his presentation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, nice. I'm glad about this.
All of the universe is rotating around us at a central special location, that a translation of motion which will be translated down to the Earth through the atmosphere and the ether, processing a pendulum. Now, gravity. Gravity is the third topic that I'm excited to get into with Craig. We'll see how it goes. Is Einstein's theory of gravitation true, which is the current theory? So if you are defending gravity, you must defend the bending and warping of a fourth-dimensional fabric called spacetime, creating gravity wells, creating orbits, and other insane things. So gravity, just for everybody in the audience, all the heliosexuals in the audience, gravity is a theory.
Also calls them heliosexuals.
Heliosexuals. I'm a heliophobic.
Gravity is not a fact, and the law of gravitation is just a mathematical model that is consistent with a downward acceleration. That's it. So,
bye, Howard. I'm good to see that your cognitive pain is too much for you just for an opening by a flat earther. Wow.
Just to set the bias here.
Yeah, run along now. That's going to make us feel bad about it. It just means he's doing a good job. That's all.
And dappers as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to come into this channel, dude?
Hey, Spuddy, good Charlie Wells, good to see you too, man.
It's only a theory. It's not been proven. There's no substantial evidence to suggest that bendy, warpy space-time is a fabric that bends in the presence of large masses. Now, I want to go over the difference between Newtonian and Einsteinian just for the audience.
Craig's never going to get this, by the way, Caleb. I've tried every kind of way to explain it you can. He is willfully ignorant to the differences. He wants to compare them and say they work both, because he likes to say, oh, but in mechanics we do use it as Newton, so therefore it is a force. Just because you can claim it to work it mathematically as a force doesn't make it actually a force. Just like we've explained, I can work it as pixie dust or unicorn farts. Does it make it pixie dust or unicorn farts? No, it doesn't.
I can claim to be a girl, but I'm not. No.
Exactly. So far, so good. I really don't have much issues with what Caleb's saying. He's doing well.
Because a lot of Globers get this messed up. Newton theorized that gravitation is a result of mass acting on mass at infinite distances instantaneously. He had no time variable in his equation, so this must be assumed.
Yeah, that is David Weiss's line, Paul, unfortunately. I think this is a thing that the flat earthers do fall into a trap. It's just a theory. They're not understanding what the theory is.
You can't test it. It needs to be tested before it's a theory, doesn't it?
Yeah, how do you get it to be a scientific theory? It's claimed to be a scientific theory, but you should say it's not even scientific, so therefore cannot even be a theory. No, gravity is not even a theory. It's literally just a belief system. There's no theory. Yeah, it's a colloquial theory, if you want, at best.
Yeah.
This was a huge flaw in his theory, hence why we have Einstein come about in 1915, which wrote the general theory of relativity, which explains gravitation as the fourth dimensional fabric called space-time, again, becoming warped in the presence of matter, creating gravity wells, causing planets and other celestial bodies to orbit. I'd like to read this quote from Nikola Tesla. Wonderful guy. I hold that space cannot be curved, for the simple reason that it can have no properties. It might as well be said that God has properties. He has not, but only attributes, and these are of our own making. Of properties, we can only speak when dealing with matter filling the space. To say that in the presence of large bodies, space becomes curved is equivalent to stating that something can act upon nothing. I, for one, refuse to subscribe to such a view.
Brilliant. And this is exactly what we say when we say, what's space? It's just a man-made construct. You just full availability. Time is just a man-made construct. You can't bend constructs. It's mind thought experiment.
You can bend what you want in your head.
Yeah, but you understand. Just it's a mental illness, you could say. But I must say, this is a good quote to bring up. The only sad thing is, yeah, guys, Nikola Tesla didn't believe it's flat Earth though, but he did kind of hint to it with the way things he was saying though.
Great guy. Great quote. Space doesn't exist. Also, though, this is another topic. The direct antecedent to gas pressure is a container. To have a contained gas pressure system with a PSI that's measurable, you have to have a container. So we cannot have our magical atmosphere that has a PSI coexisting next to the vacuum of space, which is 10 to the negative 17 torr. That not only defies all the laws of thermodynamics and entropy, but it defies common sense.
Yes, there we go.
This is what we see here. These two systems, without a barrier in between them, would be seeking equilibrium with each other violently. That's all that we see in nature. I would love to see one reproducible experiment other than just saying the atmosphere, like Globy McGlobeface did and all these other clowns on TikTok.
Michael, Don says, are you awake?
Am I awake?
Yeah, Don's asking if you're awake.
Yeah, I'm awake.
He says you're a bit quiet.
I'm just listening.
Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes we are quiet. Sometimes we just listen.
Hey Yoda, good to see you. What? Oh, when if you're watching. Shame.
We have to have a container to have a pressurized system. You cannot have a vacuum coexist next to a pressurized system without them seeking equilibrium violently. They don't just coexist next to each other while we shoot through a vacuum at 500,000 miles an hour, 4.9 billion miles a year. Anyway, conclusion. The Earth is not convexing away omnidirectionally from every observer on Earth. It is, in fact, a level topographical plane with hills and valleys.
Yeah, that's why I keep asking them when they want to claim, oh, but we only have a curve one way, you know? It's like, oh, so toilet roll Earth. Then they say it's a straw man. But that's exactly what they're saying. So yeah, that's it. It's correct. The Earth is stationary, correct, and the vacuum space cannot exist exactly because it violates the second law of thermodynamics. Well done. Good
The Earth is
presentation.
stationary, as every experiment of the history of mankind has shown it to be. The vacuum of space cannot coexist next to the pressurized atmosphere due to the laws of thermodynamics, entropy, and common sense. And
Well done,
I will
mate.
end there and let Greg do his presentation.
Ooh.
Alrighty. Thank you
Okay,
much.
so what do you guys have to say about his presentation?
Weren't bad.
Yeah, I think it's all right. I mean, a lot better than I could do, that's for sure. But like you said, a few little things he maybe shouldn't have claimed, like giving him a little bit too much to work with, you know what I mean? But yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, not bad. Well done, Kaleb.
No problem.
Craig, it's on you whenever you want to go. Craig, you're not on camera. There we go. You're on mute.
There we go. Sorry, I had myself muted, so I didn't make any noise as well.
Yeah, you had yourself muted so you can communicate with your team of panel experts. What are we going to say, guys?
Yeah, that's it. And you're off camera because you don't know what to do. You're embarrassed. Probably necking his drink. Getting up the Dutch courage.
Caleb was talking.
Thank you.
Right. So, a lot of notes there from what Caleb said, but we'll discuss that after my points. Straight away, one of the things that I want to talk about is the Foucault's pendulum. There is no evidence that suggests the Foucault's pendulum doesn't do what we suggest. In fact,
That's false. Even I've been debating you on that how many times.
Well, it was supposed to be doing a presentation.
Me
not a
too.
rebut.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely listened to someone, is he?
Brian Stavey, experts. Hey, where's Wally? Good to see you, man. Thank you for coming. Yeah, experts.
Caleb makes a very big thing about following the scientific method, even though there isn't just the scientific method. But if we want to talk about, say, the scientific
No,
method,
there is the scientific
learn
method.
at high school, basic 5 steps: observation, hypothesis, prediction, experiment, analysis, repeat, etc., then Foucault's pendulum follows that.
What? What? I told you he wouldn't know science even if you hit him in the face. No, Foucault's pendulum's not science, mate. What's your IV and your DV? Wow. That's insane. Caleb, I'm going to say nothing now. Hopefully he's going to rip him apart of this.
So you can make an observation of anything, like the stars moving, in a particular pattern, or the sun going across the sky. That is a simple observation. You can form a hypothesis from that. You can either form a hypothesis of the stars and the sun are moving, or you can form a hypothesis that we're moving.
Okay, but then you have to go and actually manipulate the independent variable. So,
problems.
yeah. So, if you're claiming Earth is moving, that would be the cause for something. Because you're saying, oh, look, the stars move, but it's because we are moving. So, you have to manipulate the independent variable, which would be Earth moving. How do you manipulate Earth moving?
Well, you don't. And you would have to observe that first. And to observe that, you would have to be off
Exactly.
the different reference frame altogether.
Yeah, all they do is beg the question, affirm the consequent, and use circular reasoning. That's it. There's no science involved, nothing. The fact that he came up to there's more than one scientific method already shows the guy is starting off dishonestly.
Stupid.
Yeah, he's stupid, exactly.
A hypothesis is just an educated guess. And then you can make a prediction based on your hypothesis. And if the hypothesis is that the Earth is rotating, then that's going to mean certain physical things are happening, like a Coriolis force being applied. And
Coriolis force. Okay, has anybody observed the plane appearing to deviate lately? Has anybody seen planes take an apparent curved path as it's flying straight?
No.
As we turn underneath the plane? No, so therefore Coriolis argument debunked, Craig.
If that's the case, then we can make predictions, which would be the next step in the scientific method. And the predictions is that if we have a pendulum swinging from a point attached to a pivot point, then depending on where it is on Earth, as it swings, it will drift a different amount. And this is an experiment that you can do, that you can test yourself. I did it when I was at university. In fact, so does every.
And then we can see Foucault's pendulums going opposite directions, or where we show Mitchell from Australia showing the pendulum didn't work, and then when we went back, they took it off. Say, they have to repair the apparatus. Sorry guys, why do you have to repair something if it's the Earth causing this rotation? What do you have to repair?
That pendulum was swinging, so it weren't broke.
Exactly. A pendulum just oscillates front and back. That's all it does. That's what a pendulum is.
And like Paul says, there is only one reference frame. The pendulum's fixed to the ground.
And we've been saying this for years. The pendulum's stuck on the ground.
Yep.
There's no such thing as a frictionless pendulum, and they use magnets electromagnets just to get it moving. You wouldn't need to get it moving if it was Earth moving it. It's a parlor trick.
Physics undergraduate and uses it to actually calculate your position on Earth. It's very, very, very simple. This isn't me because I didn't record my physics degree 20 odd years ago.
I want you guys to see something. Is this paintbrush touching the paper? Does that mean there's friction?
Yeah, there's friction. Yeah, of course.
And does that make it lean while it's moving around because it keeps touching? That would be a yes.
Yeah, I mean the bristles on the brush. It's going to manipulate in lots of different ways.
The kicker mechanism was not working, so repair it. No, the kicker mechanism was working. It was swinging the whole 4 hours. Where's Wally? It didn't rotate with Earth apparently, so they took it down because what do they have to repair? Earth's rotation. The Earth doesn't rotate, Wally. That's the whole point.
This is a guy on YouTube called the Gentleman Physicist, and he built his own Foucault's pendulum in a high-rise building, and he let it swing for a certain amount of time, and over that amount of time, it drifted a certain amount of time. There were 41 minutes, it drifted, and you can
you guys laughing? No, this is ridiculous.
Measure the angle of the drift.
You would swear, I swear, Craig never listens to anybody's rebuttal for anything. Because why would he bring this up again? It's been debunked so many times. Hey, Canaway, good to see you, man. Thanks for coming. Guys, please hit those likes. Share the show if you haven't already. Please, please, please. It really does help for the show to grow.
Drift. Do some basic math, figure out how much it would rotate in 24 hours. And then you can actually use that and calculate your latitude on Earth. So with nothing but a swinging pendulum, you can use the degree of the angle that it drifts to find your latitude on Earth. And it works. The fact that it works, the fact that you can physically do this, it's a repeatable experiment. The fact that this can be repeated anywhere in the world.
Have you noticed why haven't the anti-flat earthers been doing this to repeat it? Has anybody realized this? I haven't seen any of them attempt to repeat this.
It should be an easy thing to do, shouldn't it?
You know what they should do? They should blindfold a guy. Just take him anywhere. He shouldn't know where he's going. And say, here's your focal pendulum. Do your thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
By anyone with the right equipment, set up the correct way, you will be able to calculate your latitude on the planet. And that shows that it matches the predictions of the hypothesis following on from the observation, that based on the position on Earth, different Coriolis forces will be applied to a Foucault's pendulum. And you can use Foucault's sine law, which is latitude equals arc sine divided by times 24 hours divided by t. And then you find out your latitude on Earth. And they got 49.8, which was about within 1.4 degrees of where they are, which was pretty damn good considering the crude equipment used. And that's called a margin of error. So the fact that this experiment can
Always
be
margin of error.
repeated constantly on different positions on Earth. There's experiments recorded on in the South Pole where they did this,
Hey,
and you get
Max
the expected
65, good to see you,
24
mate. And
hours
angle
showing
of
360
elevation,
degrees
good to see you too.
rotation. The fact that it is a repeatable experiment matching the predictions.
Where's Wally? It's not so easy. It needs a very long string and very heavy weight and no wind, like in a stairwell. Ooh, so not easy to replicate then. Hey Adam, Praso, good to see you. Oh boy.
Okay.
Shows that it fails to falsify that the Earth is a rotating globe. The Falcott's pendulum experiment is great because it doesn't only show that we're rotating, but based on the Coriolis forces at different points, you can map out the forces.
Sorry, Craig. Coriolis force is a fictitious force. There aren't actually forces, mate. Didn't you know this? It doesn't physically move something. It only has an apparent deviation. That means optical, Craig. And the Focal's pendulum is still on the rotating reference frame. So not Coriolis then. Oh, wow.
Apparently,
Hey, who's
Well,
just popped in? Is that this Lord?
It's old Disky boy.
How's it going, man?
it's going
It's good.
not
it's good.
that well though. That's why I'm not on these days. It's a rough month,
Aye,
very rough month. Yeah,
but at least
I'm
you.
alive. I'm alive.
I know why. What's gonna make you feel better, man? Can I tell you?
Let me hear it.
You need Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That wasn't what I was waiting for.
I know you wouldn't. I'm praying for you, man. I'm praying for you.
It might not be what you're waiting for, but it's what you need.
Anyway, let's go on. It's
you.
good to see you, man.
Yeah, glad to be here.
And the vectors, and you find that that shows in itself that the Earth is also a globe as well as it being rotating. Other ways that we can figure out that the Earth is a globe is surveying. And one of the things that we do in surveying is something called measuring reciprocal zenith angles.
You don't measure reciprocal zenith angles. That's a calculation based on ellipsoidal consideration by measuring slope angles and then considering slope angles to be more than 180 degrees. There is no such thing as measuring zenith reciprocal angles, Craig. I told you this how many times? Wow, this guy. And wow.
So the zenith angle directly above you, 90 degrees, is your zenith. Okay. And if you set up two plumb bobs or theodolites at a different distance apart, you can see if those two plumb bobs are on the theodolites pointing straight up at your zenith are matching. If they point straight at each other and you measure the angles, if the Earth is flat, then you would get 180 degrees. If the Earth is a globe, you would get more than 180 degrees.
You'd never get more than 180 degrees. You calculate more than 180 degrees, mate. There's never measured more than 180 degrees. Yes, this guy's really stupid. I'm sorry. Wow.
Exactly, Paul.
Oh.
Plane surveying, which also use a plane.
Yeah, exactly. It's called planar surveying for a reason.
Well, I don't have the page up. Give me one sec.
No, you're just waiting
You
to
go
hear what they say.
to mc2.net and go to main surveyor. And I know Kaleb likes likes MC2. They had a couple of good conversations. Give me one sec. I'll get that screen
Ooh,
up.
the main surveyor. The same guy that put I think he took different theodolites next to each other and didn't know how to calibrate them to give the same observation right next to each other. Yeah. It was funny. Because it was funny, he had the theodolites next to each other, and the one was showing a different measurement to the other one, right next to each other. That's the main surveyor, guys.
The main surveyor and a couple of other qualified.
Sorry, guys. As soon as you bring up McToon's website, you can just say it's an invalid source. Why is that? Because it's all just based on idiotic stuff like Walter Bislin's page on RZA. What's Walter Bislin's thing, guys? Is it a page dedicated to Earth belief? Things like terrestrial refraction, that's not actually right refraction. Things like straw manning what a flat Earth should look like according to them. Yeah, how many planes on a sphere, Paul? Exactly.
He's just another Looney Tune.
Mm-hmm.
Surveyors, Walter Bislin and Jesse Kozlowski, did their own measurements to check if reciprocal zenith angles is a thing. Here's a diagram explaining what they do. So if the Earth is flat, then these angles will sum up to...
Sorry, 90 degrees? Can you have a 90 degree on a curved surface, guys?
No.
An elevation angle means it has to be parallel with the ground below it, because it has to be parallel to the horizontal of the Earth. Wow.
180. If the Earth is a globe, then there'd be more than 180. And the main surveyor went out and did a bunch of measurements of different elevations, following all the correct surveying methods. And the survey determined that all...
I want you guys to read that. Mean slope. Does it say mean curve?
I was just going to say that diagram that you've just... that if you just back it up a bit to that above diagram.
what they
go
do.
to the other
So
one,
up-
right?
one
Yeah.
if
below
the
that
Earth
one.
is flat,
I'm waiting
then
for it
these
quickly.
angles will sum up to 180. If the Earth is a
Hey,
globe,
you're
then
Mob.
there'd be
Good
more
to see
than
you, man. Thank you for
180.
coming.
And the main surveyor went out and
That one.
did a
That one.
bunch.
There we go.
Yeah, look, that slope.
That slope. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
The sum of angles. So two straight lines. Okay, so you have a slope angle and an incline angle. That's all they ever measure. They never ever measure curve, guys. They never measure
measurements,
curve.
different elevations, following all the correct
And then I also want
surveying
you guys to pay
methods.
attention to what it's saying
The
here.
survey determined that
What is WGS84, guys? That would be an elliptical consideration model, which geodetic surveyors use. This is calculated as a curve, not measured. His measurements were not measuring curves, guys. He measured slope angles and incline angles based on a horizontal datum. The WGS84 takes those slope angles and says, hang on, let's make it say it's a curve because it's considered to be an ellipsoidal model. Get it?
all the sum of the reciprocal zenith angles came to more than 180 degrees.
What? More than 180 degrees because you begged the question of a radius of 6,000... What do we see here? Begged the question of over 6,000 kilometers.
The survey determined that...
There we go. Beg the question of 6,368 kilometers, guys. Did he measure 6,368 kilometers? No, he didn't. That is how they do it. They calculate it based on an ellipsoidal consideration. And his ellipsoidal consideration was already begging the question of a radius of 6,368 kilometers.
In a big old ruler for nearly 4,000 miles, you know?
That is,
How does an ellipsoid have a radius?
Exactly.
that's crazy. These guys really, they try their utmost best to try and misrepresent what's actually going on. And it just shows more and more they don't actually understand what's going on there. That's why I laughed at Craig the more he tried to bring up this argument.
Some of the reciprocal zenith angles came to more than 180 degrees, which would say that the surface of the Earth is not flat. It is, in fact, curved.
Oh, so plane means curved, guys. According to Craig. Plane means
Cool.
curved. Okay.
Of course, makes sense. Makes sense.
You can go and look at all the details of the survey at your leisure. That all his logbooks are here, detailing all the measurements that he did. And the outcome of the survey was that there is a deviation.
See? Sorry. Can anybody tell me, does a plane curve?
No.
So why has he
The
got
ones I
curvature?
know.
Yeah, why has he got curvature in there? Oh, I don't know, because they have consideration of a ellipsoidal model. That's why it comes up to 17.1 over the 180 degrees. Not because it's measured, it's calculated.
Deviation of 1.4 degrees, which meant that there is curvature. It didn't sum to 180, it summed to more than 180. The only way that can happen is if the surface of the Earth is physically curved. Obviously, this takes into account topography and everything. That's all taken into account in the methods done. Excuse me. And this particular
Geodesy, making my point. Thank you very much. I really hope he does call him out in this. Yeah, how come they all show a sphere? Exactly, because they aren't in space to take an actual photo, Jeff. That's why.
survey was, and what Desic also did was shown on Water Business page where he analysed it and did the maths to also show that refraction is taken into account, and even without
Refraction, can anybody? I still fail to see where Snell's law is there in his Earth curve calculator. No one has managed to show me this math for Snell's law yet. And as soon as you say Fermat's principle, it's still based on Snell's law. You still need a boundary.
refraction, that it shows the Earth is curved. If you add refraction, which would lift the image up, then it shows that the Earth is 100% curved. All the calculations and everything can be.
And then we can show demonstrations of refraction making it look curved. Correct, Michael?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Weird how that works. Yeah, there's an Odyssey. Guys, do go watch that. I would like to show it, but unfortunately Bev will copyright strike me if I show it. A surveyor literally says, no curve, always flat.
Shown on this page. I can give anyone the link to this that they want to look over it themselves.
Well, what we can maybe do it this way. I don't need to play it. I can just put the
He'll try and strike you though.
No. Look what's going to happen. I'm not going to play it at all. I'm just going to show everybody it's there.
Mind you, you commentated on it, so
Yeah.
fair use, really.
Okay, so anyway, I'm not going to play it. I just want to put the... Oh, you don't have any captions. Well, anyway, guys, it is there. You guys can go and watch it. He was talking to him, and then he went and he just says, blah, 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 it's flat, it's not curved. And then he laughed. And by the way, he took this from his actual video, from his actual YouTube channel. So it's really odd. By the way, Michael, you know what the funny thing is, because he gave you a copyright strike? Do you know he needs a link on YouTube to give you a copyright strike, because they have to see the link. And the fact he could give you a copyright strike meant he still had the link, which means it's on YouTube, which he said he doesn't have on YouTube, so he got caught out lying just by giving you a copyright strike.
Full blown liar. But I'll take that strike on chin, just to prove that he's a gatekeeping piece of shit.
So yeah, Bev,
the video was on YouTube.
So look, the whole video was about the surveyor saying it's not curved, it's flat. And all we know, Bev doesn't like people knowing that it's flat. Because he doesn't like people saying he's a flat earther. Tony Whitcomb, thank you very much for your £10 super chat. Really, really appreciate all the support, man. You Rocky says Craig is full of so much crap that when he cuts himself, he has brown blood. What? That's a good one. Thank you, Tony Whitcomb, for your super chat. Really appreciate it. Oh wow.
I would guess that when he goes shitting, nothing comes out, just a little.
Yeah, he has a problem putting himself. He thinks electrons cut him, not knives.
Oh yeah. You don't have knives. Don't cut. Electrons cut, guys.
Yeah.
Hey LJ, good to see you, man. But yeah, guys. See, there's Buzz video's link. But like I said, he literally on the whole video was telling Michael that he doesn't have it on his YouTube channel, where Michael is showing the link.
What he claimed was I'd gone to Discord and pinched it from there.
Exactly, while it's on YouTube.
You know, that's unbelievable. I've seen that before. I mean, how old is it now? About a year and a half old, something like that. Since he'd done that.
And he hasn't even taken it down. But like I said, the fact that he copyright striked you, he needed to do the application. He needed the link, and the fact that he gave you the strike meant he used the link that he says they didn't have.
Wow.
That's how stupid he is, really. Yeah, nice lie, mate. Get caught out. You caught yourself out by giving a copyright strike. Well done.
But the outcome of the surveys done by these surveyors is that reciprocal zenith angles sum up to more than 180. And the only possible outcome from that is that the Earth is curved.
No. It is planar surveying. Geodetic surveys take account the ellipsoidal model because they believe it's a curve. They therefore go and consider over 180 degrees and call it curve when all they measured in fact was slope and incline angles.
Now, there's many measurements that back this up. You can look at historical measurements like the transcontinental triangulation, the American arc of the parallel.
Bev was claiming that QE is using a still of BML69's video as the modus tollens. Bev seems to follow FED. Does he always watch it on mute? I think Bev is willfully trying to be ignorant, Paul. Because it's been explained to him live on FED a few times. I've even tried to explain it to him. He doesn't want to understand it. I think that's the simplest way we can put it.
And all the other large-scale surveying operations have been done throughout history to back up this curvature. You can look at all the measurements of the rotation of the Earth. In fact, there's a good list at mctoon.net/spin that all show that the Earth is rotating. Flat Earthers themselves have confirmed that the Earth is rotating.
I was going to say thanks. So you're going to say thanks, Bob. Cool. So then,
every time he says rotating, it makes my teeth itch.
But okay. As soon as he says thanks, Bob, I think we should all tell him, show us apparent deviation of planes, balloons, birds, balls, bullets, skydivers. Show us these things. If he can't, then it just shows him a liar, correct?
So the fact that there is measurements that everyone can do, it's repeatable, it follows the scientific method.
No, it doesn't.
Showing both curve and rotation only comes to one conclusion, and that is that the Earth is not flat.
That's not science, Craig.
Wow.
Is curved. And that's my time.
Okay, thank you very much. And
let's based on the openings. Kaleb destroyed Craig.
Absolutely. No doubt.
Craig literally was coming with 2015 arguments here. So yeah, we'll see. This should be interesting. Hey David Body, it's good to see you. Guys, please hit the likes, share the show.
Use them arguments?
Because it's all they got.
There is no new arguments for them.
They have nothing else, and they got no rebuttal for anything presented. That's why. All they have is nah, and ignore what's presented. Hey TB, good to see you, man, and Tape Bodies, glad you have. Guys, please hit the like, share the show. It really, really does help. Are you guys ready to see the rebuttals?
Yeah.
Wherever you guys want to go from here.
Yeah, do you want to talk about the Earth being do you want to substantiate curvature? Do you want to talk about space time, or do you want to talk about the Coriolis effect first?
Up to you. You can go wherever you like.
Okay, let's talk about gravity. So, how do we
Yay.
substantiate that space and time act as a fourth dimensional fabric?
Well, it's not space and time; it's space time. This one thing, and
I've explained this to you. It's space and time, mate.
Yeah, I've heard deGrasse Tyson saying space and time. I've heard Mitchell Kauku saying space and time.
They just say space time to shorten it. That's all.
This is again.
space-time.
Yeah, but this is again when I'm trying to tell him it's space and time because it's different points in the dimensions. They're separate. They're not the same thing. There's this guy, and I mean I've explained this to him many times. The guy literally starts off being ignorant to the subject, and he's going to stay this way forever because he chooses not to listen. I mean, like you said, yeah, we can go. It's space and time, but he won't listen. I mean, the metric tensors are there as space and time.
you can substantiate that by doing experiments following the scientific method, as you like to insist. The scientific method says that if the light from a distant star passes by a large mass, then that light will deviate a certain amount dictated by the curvature of space-time. Then
this is where Sleeping Warrior came and said, okay, so refraction then. Okay. So what makes it not refraction, and what makes it bendy space-time in the fourth dimension? And also, I've got to ask a question. If we are three-dimensional beings, is it possible for us to see in the fourth dimension, people? No. Uh-oh. It's a mathematical construct, Craig. It doesn't exist. Man.
And we can test that. And that was done in the Eddington experiment in 1919 and many other times to show that light from a distant star will bend when it gets close to our star, will change its path, the predicted amount according to Einstein's equations.
Do we have the star plates from the observation of 1919?
No.
Do we have the star plates?
No, you don't.
That's how we made the observation, did he not?
I don't have them. Do you mean do we have them?
They don't exist, Craig. That's the point. It's fabricated. Craig.
Does anybody have them, or did we lose them?
I have no idea.
Well, the answer is we don't have them anymore. We've lost them, apparently.
Caleb, actually the answer is it never existed. That's the answer.
Due to just a long time from it being observed. And so how do we substantiate without having the star plates that the stars even convex towards the sun in the first place? And also, isn't light massless? Why is space-time being warped acting on a massless thing?
Okay, two questions there. So the first one is you can repeat the experiment, which has been done many times. I can provide you with a list of experiments very similar to the Eddington experiment in 1919. Science likes to have repeatable.
Is it? So you can observe light refracting or curving in space over and over, Craig. So we see things happen, so therefore science. Okay. Now I like this Kaleb. I think he's not bad. I actually want to get him on sometime, maybe for a chat. I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Experiments, and it is
ask him to team up with you on a debate.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be good.
That'd be quite good. I'll actually contact him and see what we can come up with.
Talk him out of ether. That's it.
I'll tell him straight. I don't agree with the ether though. But hey,
I think the last guy you debated with, who was all right as well. I think he was an ether.
He was
guy,
an ether guy, yeah, and he didn't do
He
bad.
was all right.
Yeah,
he was
bad.
good.
certainly repeatable following the predictions. And mass, light, although massless, is energy, and as Einstein's equivalence principle shows us, E equals mc squared.
That energy and mass are physically the same thing, yeah. Because mathematics can take physical things and make it not physical, or take not physical and make it physical. Why? Because people are insane.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. There's no other words for it.
It is insanity.
Because I say it can be the same, therefore it is the same. No, mate, just because you say so doesn't make it the same.
Energy is equivalent to mass, which means that it will be affected by gravitational effects, especially when you talk about Einstein, because it's the physical fabric of the space that is warping.
Physical? No. It's an optical illusion, Craig. Did you not know the bending and warping of space-time is only optical, not physical? Uh-oh. You just contradicted yourself when you said we saw Eddington experiment, quote-unquote. It's optical. Maybe he doesn't know what Einsteinian gravitation is. It's optical based in the fourth dimensional mathematical construct. It's not physical warping, Craig. I hope Kaleb pulls him out on this.
Walking on a curved surface, even if you are walking in a straight line yourself, the curved surface will change the direction that you are going.
So not physical then?
And because the space-time itself is curved, the straight path of light is changed based on that curvature of space-time. And funnily enough, even Newton actually predicted that the path of light would be altered by large masses, although his predictions showed it to be a lot less than Einstein's were.
So I didn't hear just saying. So does gravity act upon mass only?
No, gravity is a warping of space-time, which can.
Rachie, I also do spectroscopy with my spectrometer. Definitely needs containment. It will be difficult to do spectroscopy if you don't have a container to isolate the wavelengths of light. You have different, as we can put it, prisms to catch the light in different wavelengths, and for that you require containment. Isolation is needed. Very simple stuff.
Affect energy.
Okay. Where is it said that it can affect energy? Where is that said?
Well, Einstein's equivalence principle equals mc squared. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared.
Oh, but Einstein's equivalence principle isn't general relativity, is it? So it's a false equivocation then.
So mass is energy, effectively. So one is interchangeable with the other under certain conditions and energies, and
under certain
therefore
conditions,
it can be affected in the same way. And again, only Newton, his descriptions of gravity said that it would affect only mass, but Einstein doesn't.
There's no such thing as uncontained spectroscopy. TB, I just have to point that out for Rachie. Go look how spectroscopy is done.
Go and ask John D.
Yeah, I was saying, it literally needs to be contained. It's stupid. It's like saying I can drink a glass of water without a glass.
Say that Einstein's predictions are that this curvature of space-time will affect the path of light. That's what Einstein says.
Are you under the impression that E equals mc squared is in any way related to the theory of relativity that explains gravitation? They're two totally different subjects. You realize that, right?
Yeah, I said it's the equivalence principle.
So it doesn't have to do with anything with. So there's
like be considered to have mass in certain circumstances. You would go to E equals mc squared, where energy is mass. So that answers you. It's a lot deeper, you know.
The material needs to be contained, Rachie. If it's not contained, you can't catch the spectrum of light, Rachie. The prisms need to be ordered in containment to catch the different spectrums of the light, Rachie. You clearly have no idea of the subject, so rather zip it. Well, in this case, stop typing because, yeah. Do yourself a favor, hop onto Mrs. Google and type in, how is spectroscopy done? And then come back to us.
Here's the sound.
Sorry? There's the sound again. Oh, wow. I mean, think about it. How do you isolate a light wave in a prism? if you don't have it contained. It's going to be a bit difficult if you have all the different spectrums of light going on the same plate. You need it to be isolated to be able to separate the wavelengths. Isolation requires the containment.
An undergraduate understanding of physics to get into that deep application.
Energy doesn't equal mass. Energy is a factor or a modality of mass in that equation.
Mm-hmm.
They're equivalent. That's the equivalence principle.
So you
EMC squared is he's got cancer. He's literally false equivocating EMC squared with the equivalence principle here, guys.
Obviously, it's got to say that. The equivalent principle.
so in your mind, energy and something physical are the exact same thing.
Well, energy can become mass. That's something that happens.
Okay, show us energy becoming mass, Craig. Go ahead. Because that contradicts the first law of thermodynamics. Correct? Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only transferred or transformed.
Yeah.
So, can anybody show me energy becoming mass?
I really can't. Really can't.
Okay, I'll ask the question again. Is mass and energy, which energy is not defined in today's terms anyway. Nobody can define the term energy. What is energy?
They can't even define mass, Caleb. It doesn't matter which way you look at it. They can't define any of them. That's why mass is more than one definition.
What is energy, Craig?
Math work done. Well, mathematically, what do you want it to mean? What do you mean no one can define what energy is?
Sorry?
Mathematically.
He's asking what is energy. I was like, oh, maths.
Yeah, well, you have to go to mathematics because you can't describe it, so you have to go mathematically.
It's crazy.
And mathematically is not reality.
See how you're not able to define it? What is energy?
And energy is the amount of work done. Which kind of...
In thermodynamics, energy is based on the work done. That's not what energy is, though. He's saying, what is energy?
It depends on the context that you want energy described.
So then again, like you said, it's not directly defined. Well done, Craig. Just concede. It's not directly defined.
You want energy described in the context of mathematics. You want energy described in the context of mechanical principles.
Photosynthesis is not energy becoming matter, Debatable D. Wow. Really? A plant processes the energy with physical matter. The matter is picking up the transference of the energy. The energy is not matter. It's not transforming into matter.
This is just crazy talk.
Wow.
Principles.
I want it described in...
Just like saying that it's magic. You can just poof things into existence. That's basically what I'm saying.
Simple terms for a child to be able to understand. Energy, it's saying that energy is the amount of work to be done on something cannot be influenced by gravitation. You would agree, right?
Sorry, I didn't mean to overtalk there. You cut out. I apologize. And energy is literally the capacity to do work. That's what energy is.
So how does gravitation affect the capacity to do work?
Well, the capacity to work is interchangeable with mass. Energy equals mass.
No, that's not what he asked. He caught him out really good there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done, Caleb.
That's what I'm saying. So do you think that mass and this idea of energy are completely the exact same thing? You think that this water bottle is the same as energy, hypothetical energy that can't be defined here?
Well, you could define everything in that water bottle in the terms of energy.
So you think they're the exact same thing? It's a very simple question.
I just answered. All of the materials in that bottle can be defined in the terms of energy.
Okay. So let's talk about the space-time fabric. So you said that we can make observations. That's only one step of the scientific method. Other than making observations, and even if you look at the star plate from 1919, from Arthur Eddington's observation, some of the stars are moving away from the sun. I don't know if you saw Robert Bennett. Either way,
I wouldn't have done that though, Kaleb, because you already won this argument. There's nobody has the plates. So you can just say nobody has the plates, so therefore your argument is invalidated. Till you can find me the plates, then we can go on with the argument. If you brought you the plates, then you can say, look at these stars, they are moving away. So he's actually just, hooked himself again to go back in an argument that he's already won. See, guys, I do listen to FED when they criticize me as well.
there's a PhD that's been talking with Wits It Gets It, and he's been exposing that the star plates didn't even show that all stars tended towards the sun. Some of them moved away, some of them moved horizontally. Not all of them are tending towards the sun. So I'd love to see an observation that shows every single star and the light that's being emitted from it curving towards the sun because of space-time. And either way, it's a begging the question fallacy where you're assuming that it's because of space-time. It's just as equal for me to say, oh, no, there's actually unicorns up there that are tied to the sun that are pulling in the light towards it. As long as the math works out the same way, it's basically the same assumption.
I like you, Kaleb. Exactly my thoughts. Math is not reality. It just describes. You can give a course for anything in mathematics. Just because the mathematics works out doesn't mean it is true.
Bobby Steele's what Kaleb does look quite chunky. Got anything to do with any arguments?
Yeah.
And you gotta love how Craig looks. Look at his eyes. Look at that look. He's so annoyed.
Yeah, it's like, what am I gonna do? Every argument that McTuna's given me is falling apart.
that you're
so
making.
Funny. He got the perfect face for that situation right now.
Check that.
And he's holding it. He has been holding it for a while now.
That it's space-time gravitation.
Okay, you do realize that assumptions aren't a problem in science. In fact, it's kind of a foundation of science. You have to make an assumption. That's what a hypothesis is, to be able to test something. And you can call it what you want. Space-time is just a name that they've given it.
Hey, Pacao, good to see you, man. Thanks for coming.
You can call it unicorns if you like. That's fine. I will call it Bob. It doesn't matter the name. The fact is, the prediction is that when you go and look at something, i.e. this thing will happen at this particular time and place. So, if you want to go through the scientific method, the observation is, I don't know, things accelerate towards the ground on Earth at 9.8 meters per second.
Whoa, we've been through this many times. Come, Kaleb. Catch him on this. Come on.
Roughly squared. My hypothesis is that it's because the fabric of space-time is curved by the large mass of Earth, and it will affect the path of objects and light. So how do we test that? Well, if that's true, when the light from a distant star passes our star, it will, according to these calculations, change its path a certain amount. That's a prediction based on the hypothesis. So you go and look at a particular time and place when you're able to do that during an eclipse, and you're able to see the stars that are close to our sun and test that prediction. And it's something that can be done.
That's
Did they not bring some things falling to ground in that?
Yeah, that's a say.
What's that got to do with bending?
His observation was things fall to the ground, therefore bending space. So I see.
That was terrible.
Circular reasoning. It's not science. He didn't give any science for anything he just said there. Wow. But do we expect anything less from FTFE though?
No.
He just talks. That's all he actually does.
He just opens his mouth and lets his belly rumble. So.
And over and over and over again. The observation is part of the experiment. The experiment can be...
No shit, Sherlock. Because the observation would mean, let's say you've replicated the observation. In an experiment, you've manipulated the independent variable successfully. If you have not observed the replicated in the experiment, then you have not correctly identified the cause for the effect. So therefore, you cannot call it scientific. Hey Mandela Effect, good to see you, man. Thank you for coming. You cannot create matter. Exactly, Paul. First law of thermodynamics.
Going to a certain place at a certain time and seeing if a prediction
That's true. No, down it doesn't exist according to space, but now he wants to say down.
takes place.
So you just admitted that it's just as valid to say that unicorns are pulling the star's light towards the sun. So you would have no way of
You see, that's where Kaleb, I think maybe this is just because he hasn't got the experience yet to have caught it and just said, dude, that's not science. Because if you caught him out and that's not science, I promise you he would have gone totally haywire. He wouldn't have known where to go into what. Because you would just ask him, what's your observed phenomena? How did you manipulate the independent variable? And all he would do is, nah, you don't need to manipulate it. And then you can just bring up citation after citation saying you manipulated. That's all you do.
substantiating that the fourth dimensional fabric called space-time exists in any physicality anyway, right? You can't substantiate that, correct?
You can call it what you want. You can call it unicorns if you want, but the predictions of the thing that we call space-time show that X will happen if Y is the case. And then we can test that prediction.
So not gravity then. So, so Greg, not gravity then in the fourth dimension. Unicorns. Unicorns cause the Ellemnet experiment that we cannot see, guys.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Why? Because maths.
Mm-hmm. As you insist, with
that's
the science.
That's not science.
Exactly. Thank you, Kaleb. Thank you.
No,
thank you.
So,
thank you, Kaleb. It's not science. There we go. Now we're on the right track. Okay.
So my theory would be just as valid as yours, right? You would say that my reference frame and my theory why light tends towards the sun, being unicorns pulling it too, would be just as valid as yours if the math worked out, right? It'd be just as valid, correct?
How would you test that theory?
How do you test space-time?
Exactly.
What a hypocrite, Craig. How do you test that theory? I don't know. The same as you. We just looked in the sky and it happened.
Wow.
Isn't that what Craig has been fighting this whole time? We just look and therefore?
Yeah.
So Kaleb can say, we just looked and therefore. Huh.
Something similar to the Eddington experiment.
That's an observation. You're not testing it. That's an observation.
Thank you, Kaleb.
I explained how it is an experiment as well.
It's not an experiment.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to walk you through your logic. That I'm not saying that unicorns are pulling the light towards
Hey Ryan, good to see you, man.
the sun. I'm saying there's no way to experiment and verify either assumption. Therefore, they are not validated by just looking at the stars and their moved positions. Which, again, if you look at the star plates from Arthur Eddington in 1919, not all the stars move towards the sun. So I guarantee if I look at all your other observations, not all of them are moving towards the sun either. So again, your theory falls apart just by looking at the evidence.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it is an experiment. The fact that you predict something to happen at a particular time, then you go and check that thing at that time is that experiment.
No, that's not an experiment.
Please don't interrupt me. You've even got an IV and a DV there.
Okay, let's see. Got an IV and a DV for looking in the sky, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
How did you manipulate this IV, Craig?
Confused face.
Yeah.
He moved his eyes.
Wow.
He manipulated his eyeballs.
But you see,
Oh no, his eyes are spinning.
You know what? I think next time if I want to talk to Craig, I think we'll need a moderator. It's so much better that he doesn't interrupt every time. Because with me, he doesn't let me talk.
Yeah.
No, and even though we don't completely agree with Jaren and all that, he's a pretty good moderator.
Yeah, he's letting them talk. So big ups to Jaren on this moderating this thing. He's not doing bad.
It's very simple. So it is an experiment, whether you like to say it or not. That's why it's called the Eddington experiment of 1919. And as for some of the...
He can call it the unicorn farts experiment of 1917.
Yeah, my word.
Does it make it an experiment? No, it does not. Just because he puts experiment in the end doesn't make it experiment.
the stars moving away, yeah, that's actually part of the predictions, because the stars do have their movements naturally throughout the night, but only the ones that were extremely close to our star, the path of the light coming from that star past our sun, only those ones were predicted to move a noticeable amount that would affect their normal movement. The other ones had movement that was more than the movement that would have been applied by the light from them passing near our star.
What is the difference between an observation and an experiment?
Ooh.
An observation could be an experiment if
No. He asked a very specific question. He asked a very specific question. Let's see.
He's smiling too.
Yeah. Guys,
he knows he's fucking up.
Yeah, guys on his panel, what's the difference between an experiment and an observation?
Observation is the first part of an experiment. It's not an experiment.
One's scientific and one's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. The experiment is the test to see if the cause is the cause for the observed phenomena. Observation is just seeing something.
Exactly. It's not a test.
You're just observing.
You still have to see something to start it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's only the first part of the scientific method.
Yeah, that's part of the process, yeah.
But the observation is moved to the effect in an experiment, where in nature the first part of the scientific method is I observe the effect, then you try to figure out what is the cause for that effect, and then you do an experimentation to see if that is the cause for the effect observed. So yeah, a big difference.
Thing to happen at a particular time.
An observation can be an experiment.
Yes.
Wow.
If you didn't know that, that's fair enough. I understand that you've never studied physics and stuff, but you learn these things when you study physics, that over time, things can happen. You change the position and the time, you go and look at that thing to see if that thing has happened, and if that matches your predictions, then voila, you performed the experiment. If it doesn't match your predictions, you've performed the experiment and you've failed to falsify it, or you actually falsified it.
Terrible logic.
Absolutely.
It's not logic. It's not even logic.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's crazy. That's not even logic to begin with.
No. It's crazy.
Kaleb is demolishing him. Kaleb, I like you, dude. Well done. This is really awesome.
If it falls in line with you guessed that, then it's an experiment. If it doesn't fall in line with it, it's not an experiment. That's what he's saying.
But does Craig even know why the scientific method was postulated in the first instance? Was so they can take all biases out because of everybody just making assumptions and use circular reasoning to make those assumptions. I mean, think about it. In the medieval times, people had headaches. They tried to drill holes in their skulls to release demons.
Yeah.
Okay? I assume it's a demon in your head, so let's drill a hole in your head to release the demon. They observed they had headaches, Craig. Is that science? No. Get your head in the game, man. Really. It's embarrassing.
Making an observation at a particular time and place can be an experiment. Absolutely.
No, it can't.
Okay, so observation and experiment are synonymous to you?
An observation can be an experiment.
I'll ask the question again. Are an observation and experiment the exact same thing, or are they different steps of the scientific method?
Different steps.
Exactly.
Observation is step 1 of the scientific method. Okay. Experiment is step 4 of the scientific method. But an experiment...
So it's not the same thing, Craig. You just literally made his point. Wow.
He just can't...
Can be an observation of...
He can't concede when he's wrong. He knows he's wrong. Mm-hmm. He just can't concede it.
Exactly.
A particular thing happening. That would be the prediction. The prediction you would make is, if my hypothesis is correct, then I predict that at this particular time, we will be able to observe the path of the light from a star being bent.
Okay. How about a soothsayer doing a prediction? In a few hundred years, people will die of a black plague. It happens. Did they use science, Craig? A fortune teller used science now, Craig. No. And I told him this exact same thing. The guy doesn't he literally won't get it, because as soon as a word says something, it goes in this ear, just bounces around in that empty head of his and bounces out that way.
He can't do experiment though, can he? So
He doesn't know what an experiment is.
But by saying
when he watches the TV, it's
by saying it can make his prediction, and then it goes out and he observes, but he can't experiment because he can't manipulate.
Exactly.
So by what he's just said, he's debunked himself, saying that an observation is an experiment.
Exactly. But he doesn't even know what an experiment is in the first instance. He doesn't even know what an experiment is. Kaleb asked him. Yeah. Yeah. And this is from a so-called physicist, nuclear physicist on a submarine?
No.
Yeah.
That's the prediction. The experiment is going to that place at that time and testing that prediction by
testing the prediction.
So
manipulating. Yeah, exactly. This is the same issue he had with his tea.
Yeah.
Time caused the tea.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Also, now he's trying to say you just change location so it causes the effect. No, dude. If you didn't even change the location, would the effect still appear? Yes. If you close your eyes, would the effect still appear? Yes. So then that isn't the manipulated cause. Craig, we've been through this, remember? Many times.
Setting up your equipment and monitoring what has happened. Most of science is just monitoring things.
That's pseudoscience, Craig. Welcome to reality. That's why we're saying the whole globe is pseudoscience. It's just monitoring and making... Yeah, and saying, look, Ma, we say this is the globe because of circular reasoning and because we see it, so it has to be.
I mean, you get workers that work, carers that work in old people's homes. They monitor the old people. Is that science?
Nope. It's insane. Just because you see things doesn't make it science. He's literally just actually, without realizing, conceding the whole globe is just observational and not scientific. Well done, Craig.
And see if it matches predictions. And that's exactly what they did in the Eddington experiment and every other similar experiment that's been done since then. The fact is, it was a prediction, and they formed an experiment based on the prediction to see if it matched the hypothesis. It did. They analyzed the results, and they found they failed to falsify their hypothesis.
It's wrong there again.
Of course.
Because it should be based on an observation, not a prediction.
Exactly. It's based on observation. Yes. The first part of the scientific method is observation. The experiment,
to be able to make the prediction.
Yeah, look at it this way. You've made the observation. Now you're going to make a hypothesis so you can make a prediction on what's going to happen for the cause, for the effect in the experiment. That's it. Then you take the data and analysis and get it peer-reviewed afterwards and get it replicated and so on and so on. This guy is just skipping all that and just saying, I observe it, so therefore it is. The guy doesn't know what an experiment is, guys, at all. He does. I guarantee you, he doesn't actually know what an independent variable is.
Exactly. You can't have the hypothesis unless you observe it. Perhaps.
Yeah, TB, he doesn't. We actually had this argument before that he doesn't understand the prediction is in the scientific hypothesis. The prediction is the cause for the effect. That's the prediction. The guy doesn't understand that.
The scientific method.
Okay, so you would agree with my hypothesis of unicorns, it would be just as valid if the assumptions that I make for the tending of the light towards the sun, it would be just as valid as the bending and warping of spacetime, right? If all the math worked out and we tested and over the math worked out with the unicorns pulling the light towards the sun, it'd be just as valid as yours, correct?
You can call it unicorns, whatever you want.
It's a simple
It doesn't-
yes or no, Craig. It's a simple yes or no.
doesn't matter what you call the thing. The fact is, the experiment is something is warping the path of light. You can call it unicorns. We call it space-time. If you want to do an experiment based on the predictions of unicorns, then that's great. Then we can analyze those results. But
He just said if it works out exactly the same. His is the same valid. Just, this is frustrating. Actually, he's literally not getting it.
He's fickle. He's fickle.
Yeah.
Swap and rapper. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
tell me, what would the predictions of unicorns be?
Obviously, it's a hypothetical. It's obviously a hypothetical. So all I'm trying to show to the audience is that my reference frame and my assumption of why the light tends towards the sun would be equally as valid as long as the math works out. Craig, do you think math is descriptive or explanatory?
Well, before we get there, we talk about.
Before we get there, yeah.
It's a quick answer.
Mm-hmm. See, this is
It gives you
honesty.
a choice of two.
Yeah, and this isn't being dishonest.
About what you just said. Again, you need to have a hypothesis and a prediction and an experiment. If you've got that, you're doing science, right? But
no. You can have a hypothesis, experiment, prediction. If you're not manipulating an independent variable, it's not science, Craig.
Yep.
That's the key there. Manipulating the independent variable. If you don't manipulate the independent variable, singular people, you do not figure out the cause for the effect. I still get Globus telling me independent variables, guys, by the way.
Yeah. It's an oxymoron.
Yeah.
How do you know which independent variables is the cause then if you've got more than one?
Precisely.
Stupidity.
It's idiotic. Well, because statistics say so. Statistics is now science, guys.
Of course, yeah.
Statistics causes physical matter to move. Remember?
It's crazy. And you know, it's mad. And they call that statistics science when statistics in general ain't that bloody accurate. And that's science.
Mm-hmm.
if you're just saying unicorns did it. In what way did unicorns did it? Just saying unicorns did it isn't a hypothesis.
They bent the ether towards the sun. The unicorns were grabbing the ether and bending it towards the sun. Is that better? Does that help?
And do you have a prediction based on a mathematical model for this to happen?
I could come up with it using the law of gravitation, which is just a math model, sure.
Right.
So you're saying it's interchangeable. So you admitting that you can interchangeably put space-time or unicorns in the equation shows that you have no evidence for space-time. That's all I'm trying to. That's all I'm trying to get across to the audience.
Whatever you want. You can name space-time whatever you want. From now on, I'm going to call it Felicia. All right.
Cool.
The ping of Felicia is what causes the gravitational effects. There we go. How's that?
Craig is still not getting it, or he's just very dishonest.
It's not about calling it what you want.
Exactly.
I mean,
It's that he's taking it.
Unicorns are two different things.
Yeah, he's saying the cause. Yeah, he's saying the cause is the unicorns pulling it to the sun. Where he's saying the cause is the mass attracting mass because the warping and bending of space and time, the fabric. So Kaleb is saying, well, I can just say unicorns are pulling it. It's not the mass that's warping the space fabric. So he says you can call it what you want. But it gives the same outcome. Because he uses the same math. The mechanics is just different. What's the mechanics? No, the unicorns pulled it. Not the mass bending the space fabric that you made up. So in other words, it is not a valid theory, quote unquote, which is not a theory, first of all, because you say so. Math is a language. That's what he was trying to get to you.
Glad. I
It's
just want to
descriptive.
make sure you got the
Yeah?
that you got the time under control. If you're on the Jenny.
No, I waited for the power to go on before we started. And
Okay.
But we'll probably do another part of this, guys, definitely, because I mean, we're only 38 minutes in. Gonna probably do series on this. This is quite good. Kaleb doing really well. You guys would agree? Let's try and get Kaleb on or something.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah,
I predict that the warping of Felicia will bend the path of the light. Will bend the light path of the star towards our sun. So I'm going to make based on the maths of Felicia and do an experiment. Oh look, the warping of Felicia has done exactly what I said it to do.
Movement Rider, can we start calling Craig Felicia? Oh please, let the catch on. Oh Felicia, that's a good idea. Think about it. If we start calling Felicia and he says what the hell, we say, well, you said we can call gravity unicorns and it's interchangeable, so we can start calling you Felicia. Are you actually Felicia?
Yeah, because it's interchangeable with Craig, obviously, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to call Craig from now on Felicia.
Yeah, why not? I think it should catch on, right?
And then it will just remind him of his idiotic defense for gravity. Because if he wants to say, no, he's not Felicia, we say, well, then gravity's not real then. Because if you're not Felicia, prove it. Prove you're not Felicia. How's that? Wow. I think that's a good thing. We should catch that on. We're going to see what's going to happen. Maybe I should quickly go. Wait, let's go to Discord quickly. Hey, Felicia.
Fake the Felicia evidence. Yes, Felicia.
Hey, Felicia.
I gotta go for like 15 minutes. I don't know if you're still here when I'm back.
I don't know if we're going to go on that long. If you're not back by the time. Thanks for coming anyway.
Yeah, then this is it. Yep.
Right,
see you or not. Otherwise,
Bye.
See you, man.
See you later, Dave.
Hey, Felicia. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for proving the flat Earth. Let's see if that catches on. Yeah, I think let's go on for maybe another 10 minutes. Is that fine with you guys?
That's what FTFE means. Felicia the Flat Earther.
That's a good one.
Happens that all of the maths and everything around Felicia is also the same as the maths for space-time. It doesn't matter. I've just changed the name of the thing. Changing the name of something doesn't matter. You can call it what you want, but the mathematical model shows that this thing, unicorns, space-time, Felicia, whatever, is warping based on the interaction of large masses. That's what it shows.
So you're admitting that the framework of Felicia warping the light to go towards the sun is just as valid as space-time, right?
I've just changed the name of space-time. All of the maths, everything about Felicia is
TV.
Felicia and space-time is two different things.
No, look what TV says. I think we should call Felicia Craig's right hand. Ask him if he's seen Felicia lately. Fight the Felicia effect. Oh, this Felicia's gonna catch on now. Thank you, Craig, for bringing up Felicia. This is brilliant.
Exactly the same as Einstein described space-time. It's exactly the same.
Let me ask.
Hold on. The only thing I've done, the one single thing I've done, is I've changed the name space-time to Felicia. Now, you change anything apart from the name. All of the maths is exactly the same.
That's Caleb's point.
So if it's interchangeable, all the things that you said about the observations does not substantiate that a fourth dimensional fabric of space-time exists and warps light. Massless light, where gravitation's only supposed to act on mass. So you've substantiated nothing. I asked for evidence of space-time warping, a fourth dimensional fabric, and you said that it's completely interchangeable, whether you call it unicorns or whatever you call it. So would you admit you have no evidence that space-time is a physical thing that warps in the presence of mass? And it could be anything?
Absolutely not. It's the Edmonton experiment in 1919. And
he just keeps on recycling. He's just going back the whole time. I think we're going to end it here, guys. Is that fine at 40 minutes?
Yeah, man. Yeah, let's
I do have a bit of a headache. Well done, Caleb. Really, really cool stuff. I think you did.
Yeah. Nice one, Caleb. Nice one, Felicia. See you tomorrow, Felicia.
Felicia. We'll have Felicia on tomorrow. I'm going to actually name it Felicia versus Caleb. Tonight it's going to be the rise of Felicia.
Mhm.
Tomorrow, Felicia. What can we say? What's a good second? Not
Felicia
tomorrow
lost in space and time.
night. Felicia rides unicorns.
Yeah.
Yeah, Felicia rides unicorns. That'll be Wednesday show. Are you going to have a show tomorrow night, Michael?
Yeah.
Awesome. Guys, do watch Michael's show tomorrow. Any specific topic?
Prophecy.
Oh, nice.
Bible prophecy.
We're on prophecy tomorrow. Cool.
Nice. Yeah,
Have
guys.
we got a thumbnail sorted?
Yeah, it's already up.
Nice.
Oh, is it? All right. Have you sent the link?
I ain't sent it you yet, no.
All right. Cool.
I've posted link in Bible chat.
All right. Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, if you haven't already, do subscribe to Michael Kahn and then go and watch his awesome stream tomorrow because he does really have good streams on Tuesday nights. Yeah. So that was hey, Gary, good to see you. Thanks for coming, but we are closing off now as you're speaking. So you might want to go back and watch the rest. I think it was brilliant.
Watch Felicia in action.
Watch Felicia in action. So now I have to go and change the show name and the thumbnail. Yeah. So what are you guys thoughts so far on Kaleb? I think he did really well.
Yeah, he did. I think he's doing good. Absolutely fantastic, man. I mean, not that Craig's much is a big competition or anything, but he's twisted them right up, man. Definitely. And
I like him.
Bobby Steels came in earlier and was going on about, oh, good to see him getting beaten for a second time on about Kaleb. I'm like, what's he on about? He's actually getting slaughtered. FDFE was getting slaughtered. He had no, he was running.
I ain't seen Craig win any debate.
No, exactly. I mean, he had to come out with the Felicia.
They all claimed to win afterwards.
Wow.
But problem you've got with Craig is he's being bigged up by people who are as stupid as him. And he thinks he's smarter than he is. And
he's got
like DJ said earlier, he's not willing to accept that he's wrong.
No.
And he just waffles all kinds of rubbish.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to just say thank you all for coming. Really appreciate it.
Rubbish. Peacock.
Appreciate everybody. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for hitting the likes and share the show. If you haven't already, please do hit the likes and share the show. It really does help to get the show out to a wide audience. I really want to say thank you, appreciate everybody for coming. My Patreon supporters, my members, and everybody that just supports the show. Yeah. So I'll see you guys all Wednesday night for part 2. Felicia rides unicorns. So yeah, I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks all for
Or
coming.
Felicia.
Feliz Navidad.
Yeah, Feliz Navidad. It's coming into that season as well.
So yeah, I'll see you guys then Wednesday. Remember, Michael's show's tomorrow night. Do pop by and say hi. Hit likes and share it too. Cheers, guys. Many blessings, and may the pressure be with you. Cheers.
Feliz Navidad.
The first day.
Is the earth flat or round? It's flat.
It's flat.
So tell me, Neil, is the earth flat?
The earth is flat. The earth is flat.
What are some of the easiest ways that you can prove that the earth is flat? That's a hard thing for me to even start talking about because there are so many proofs that the earth is flat. That's a hard thing for me to even start talking about because there are so many proofs that the Earth is flat.